Okay.
Alright.
So we're live.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so this is Gex Free Deep Cover Gecko. This is any % no wrong warp. Beat the game as fast as possible without wrong warping into the final boss, so I'm gonna have to actually meet the 30 remote requirement, and I'm already off to a great start, as you can hopefully tell. So each level has 4 remotes, 3 hidden in the level, 1 for collecting 100 fly coiner. We get mostly free throughout each level. We go to sometimes 2 remotes. So each level is based off some sort of TV or movie genre parody. This is obviously a Christmas-themed level, and already we're on top of this wall we're not supposed to be at and out of bounds. And the camera never wants to cooperate here. So we're in the final area of the level. So again, the camera does not like to cooperate in this out of bounds, but I worked out there. So we have to just defeat these 5 snowboarding elves. Normally you're supposed to be in this area with a snowboard, but we never went through the loading zone that forces you onto the snowboard, although even if we do go for this for that loading zone, you can skip the snowboard. So it's pretty straightforward. This is the PlayStation version, I should also mention. We separate the different versions as their own categories. This is also on N64. There's enough differences between the 2 versions that it warrants being separated instead of merged. Quality feels a decade outdated. 480p, decently high bitrate, but nothing particularly fantastic. Also, GV USB 2 provides okay quality. Some problems, but not too many. So this remote, you have to defeat Evil Santa, who throws these presents at you, which have some really bad hitboxes. So just very important to find a consistent way to hit them. A lot of people tail kick, and I already took damage. That's quite nice, actually. That loses a good amount of time. So I just kind of moved to the right a bit. Oops. Few unintended jumps there. A couple, rather, that jump onto the house, I'm certain is intended. Alright, one more remote in this level, and then we'll be free of the Christmas spirit. We like to call this level Christmas Land affectionately, because it just sucks to go here. Sometimes you feel like you're getting snowblind from how long you're in this level. So, Gex is a narcissist, and he needs to create 5 different ice sculptures of himself. That's some bad tail kicking, by the way. You see me tail kicking all over the place. It's the fastest way to move in this game. Or, as the game refers to it, a deadly karate kick. I don't tail kick into that loading zone, because it likes to send me flying back towards the loading zone if I do that. This is the North Pole, apparently. This game has an interesting sense of humor. Sometimes it's genuinely amusing, other times not so much. A lot of outdated references. Also, that's my 100% muscle memory getting to me. Oh my god, I made that tail kick. That's a really precise tail kick to make, and I made it. So I'm pretty happy I made that. I've been doing 100% a lot lately, so hopefully that won't get in the way of this run. Alright, so that's totally Scrooged, as the level is actually called. Holiday Broadcasting. So up next is a detective-themed level, also more fantastic tail kicking. I haven't done 100% either in a bit, been focusing on other stuff. This is Clueless in Seattle. This is going to be the introduction of TV canceling. So TV canceling is a way of getting the remote in the level without being forced out of the level. There's a few different ways you can pull this off. The one I'm going to be doing here is called a Deaf TV Cancel, where I'm going to die above the button of the TV, my corpse will fall onto the button, and I will grab the remote and respawn at the beginning of the level. This is a pretty consistent TV cancel, although I'll probably fail it now that I said that. So yeah, just damage abusing. There's actually a lot of death abuses throughout this run. Alright, I got it. Life management is very important throughout this run because game over means run over. Oops. Like I said, that TV cancel isn't particularly hard, so this next remote is a retreading of a remote from the second Gex game, Enter the Gecko. It's to smash blood coolers. There's only 3 here, and normally you're supposed to go into the hedge maze. That's also a pretty precise tail bounce I made. Didn't fall down before the cutscene, though. Normally you're supposed to go into the hedge maze and unlock a Dracula outfit, and you fly around to get the blood coolers, but that's really slow, so we don't do it. So one more remote, probably the most boring remote of the run, actually. You're just supposed to find and beat these 3 minigames. Just kill that guy so he doesn't shoot me while I'm zoomed in here. You gotta observe him with your magnifying glass. Gex likes to change his outfit depending on the level you're in, and sometimes it can affect some things. Usually minor aesthetic things, like what you just saw there with the magnifying glass. Some levels you can actually glide. And I mentioned a Dracula outfit that lets you glide. I'll actually be using that after this level in Mission Control for a remote. Oh, that camera angle was really bad, but I tail-kicked the bullet, so all's good. Alright, so this next minigame, you just have to whack these 5 bubbles in the sink, which was empty before activating the minigame, but now it's full for some reason. All there really is to it is a 1 cycle. That's not really that challenging. In 100%, you have to get that paw coin there, which makes it a lot more challenging, actually. But in this category, it's pretty easy. You're rewarded with a bonus coin, which are used to unlock bonus levels throughout the game. The flag for activating the TV is actually just having the bonus coin, so you can beat these 3 minigames, the TV will activate, you can leave and come back and the TV will still be activated, which you kind of take advantage of in 100%. I keep talking about 100% because I really love that category, but this is no wrong work. So last minigame, we have to destroy these sentient pool balls, who have very, very angry faces on it, and yes, I said angry, because memes. You gotta do everything for the meme, obviously. Yeah, this is clearly Fatal Frame. Anyway, that's the last minigame. And that's also the end of this level. Hold start there to just completely skip the remote cutscene, which I kind of do that a lot throughout the run, usually when entering a level. That was a gold split. Wow. That level's kind of hard to optimize, especially in 100%, where you just take damage so easily. 100% is a very brutal category. Alright, so here's the Dracula outfit I mentioned. I'm gonna do some cool stuff with it. So I'm just gonna go over here. I'm gonna bounce on top of this camera here, if the game will let me. And then I'm gonna take advantage of some slopes in the wall up here to go out of bounds. Fall for a bit, and then glide the rest of the way. And then eventually, hopefully I didn't mess this up, there's a consistent method to pull it off, but I got it. I'm at the end of the tutorial section. Going through the tutorial section the intended way requires a lot of mandatory dialogues and cutscenes that just lose a bunch of time. So up next is the second hub world, Lake Flaccid. Also missplit nice. And a reminder to everyone watching, no premarital Gex is allowed. This game has some raunchy humor here and there. It has a T rating because of some demos in the game, so I guess they just took advantage of that by even hiring a Playboy model to play a real-life damsel in distress. So this next level, Holy Moses, it's an Egyptian-themed level, and this is where the run gets really interesting. So I'm going to attempt to 1-cycle this level. Get all remotes in 1 visit with the magic of TV canceling. And the key word is try, because there is something coming up that does make it kind of hard to do so. So that mummy you saw there is the subject of the first mission, to collect the 3 staffs of Ra from those mummies. The next objective here, you have to destroy these 3 Anubises, Anubi, whatever the plural is, I honestly don't know. That first one, you actually have to kill in order to progress through the level anyway. Ledge grabless, nice. Oops, okay, that's me. Checkpoint, which I'll need later if everything goes right. Oh! Oh, nice! Okay, that's the first big mistake of the run. Okay. Gex, come on. It's a good thing I got that checkpoint now. So up next is the second mummy, and hopefully I can skip his animation. Got it. That saves a few seconds. If you don't do that, normally you have to sit through his tornado spin animation. So up next is where things get interesting. So they made this camel. He exists for this one room of the entire game. He's kind of useless, except we can give him some extra use. There's a couple methods to get him out of this room. That's the one I'm most consistent at. So you're not supposed to take this camel out of the room, but I did anyway. So I'm going to use this camel to TV cancel. But a very interesting and dangerous thing that this does is it causes the death planes in this level to be raised, and this is going to be a huge concern coming up. I'm going to have to kill an Anubis while on a piece of raised land, and everything surrounding me, below me, is a death plane. So if I go onto the same level the Anubis is, I die. Just gotta keep on tapping the jump button in order to keep the camel flying. I'm trying to take this really safely. Alright, that's good. Didn't die. So you got these faces here that just kinda get in the way. Alright, so one more mummy. Don't know how to skip his animation, sadly. I do need to get his staff while on the camel, though, or else the camel will despawn. Ooh, oh god, that could have been really disastrous, because that can cause you to completely phase through walls. So, I'm going to TV cancel using this camel. This is introducing another type of TV canceling referred to as tail whip TV canceling, where you can do a tail whip before landing on the button of a TV, and you can chain your tail whips. But the problem with chaining your tail whip is that every tail whip after that initial one has to be done every 18 frames. It's frame perfect, so this first TV cancel is no problem, because I can just tail whip onto the camel like that. But this next one, so the level's going to want to force me out, because I just got that remote, so I'm going to have to throw myself onto the button and perform a frame perfect TV cancel. Which I got. Nice. It's only a 30 FPS game, so frame perfect in this game isn't too much of a concern. So one last remote, just gotta ride the camel to the temple, as the game calls it. The most basic remote in this level. No real tricks or gimmicks to it, just ride a camel. That death cost me some time, sadly. So that's Holy Moses. If you've noticed by now, Gex isn't talking, because I shut him up before the run. If you turn the voices off, he won't pause to say something when going through the TV, which saves a good amount of time throughout the run. So up next, still don't know exactly how to properly do this hub world movement. A lot of lag. I have a really bad PS2, so I lag a lot, because this game's already really laggy as is, and I just lose a lot of time due to lag and load times, because my PS2 is really bad. So up next is the Oregon Trail, a Western-themed level. This also has a one cycle, very similar to Holy Moses. Now, because of that death, I'm going to take a safer route. Coming up, I'm going to make a slight detour to get some lives. I did not mean to take that damage, by the way. Because, like I said, game over means run over. And it's a marathon. I want to play it somewhat safe. Again, didn't mean that. So, kind of, sort of a secret. I need to swallow right there, because I can just carry the flies to the other TVs and Gecko will swallow them forcefully. So yeah, they just put some lives here. You can use it to farm it over and over and over again. My movement's really bad today as well. I didn't really practice beforehand, haha. That's not intended. By the way, that card you saw earlier, and here's another one, collect 5 of a kind, as the game calls it. Just gotta collect those 5 cards for a remote. So, the donkey, saw him earlier. He's actually slower than tail kicking, but he is used for going up these slopes. This is obviously unintended. This is not really the most well-designed level, as you can tell, which makes it very open-ended when it comes to routing. But just like the camel, I'm gonna use this donkey to TV cancel. Oops. There we go. So again, I gotta stay on the donkey or else the game will force me out of the level, and since I'm too far from the TV, if I were to do that, the game would actually crash. But I can remedy that with a death abuse coming up. Camera. Yeah, these games are really known for their camera. Just a wonderful piece of art, I must say. Alright. So, another TV cancel using the donkey, the 5 of a kind remote. Alright, that was a quick one as well. Glad you guys are enjoying the emotes, by the way. Another death abuse. So, one more remote. We have to go visit the world's largest mound of poo, as the game calls it. You just saw a billboard there. These cycles are camera-based, and I just kind of fucked up this one. So, lost a bit of time, but it's a marathon. I'm not expecting the PB. Like, I'm already 27 seconds behind my PB, which, to be fair, isn't very good to begin with. I could still PB, but, eh. Never know. Oops, okay. So up next... Ooh, sorry. Up next is War is Heck, a military-themed level. This is a pretty straightforward level. There's no real major glitches to it. Just doing everything fast. So, first remote, gotta destroy these 5 tents, which, you see the Z's there would imply that someone's sleeping in them, but they just disappear. I guess you destroyed them, their body, their soul, their heart, everything, their well-being, maybe even their families. God rest their soul, and they know they're trying. That cutscene can be skipped with a death abuse, where you can use that soldier who throws bombs near to the final tents. It's incredibly precise, though. So I don't go for it. Maybe someday I'll go for it again. Again, maybe someday I'll go for it in general. I've never gone for it before. I cannot speak English, by the way. I'm a filthy American who doesn't know his own language. So, this next remote, we gotta terrorize a town. We gotta destroy all these buildings to squish these bug crates that are in them. Funny enough, you don't even need the tank to squish them, you don't even need to tail whip them, you can just touch them with your own body, and that'll destroy them. By the way, for some reason they made it so the tank cannot run over fire hydrants properly. I still tail kick there, I didn't mean to go onto the tank again, but I still tail kick there just to get a quick turn. Same there. Alright. I know my language, what am I talking about? Alright, one more remote. This is probably the most fun remote of the level. I gotta go into another area of the level and destroy a bunch of searchlights. It's pretty fun to optimize, honestly. Some people probably say it's boring, but yeah, their loss. As you can tell, I'm already doing a piss poor job. These grenades have the worst blast radiuses, by the way. They just can kill. They can just hit you from so far away. They don't damage you while you're on the guns, though, which is interesting. As you can see there, the grenade was right next to me, but it didn't damage me because I was on the gun. Also, these mines also have weird hitboxes, and you can just tail kick around them, and they'll blow up, but you don't take damage for some reason. I'm really bad at this remote. Used to be good. Don't trust me, I used to be good at this game. And we have to destroy what looks like a Magnavox Odyssey 2 cartridge. Come on, game. Thank you. And that's war as heck. Alright, so there is one more level in the subworld. It's a pirate-themed level, the Buccaneer program. It's called Cut Cheese Island. Wonderful name. Because haha, farts. Ha. It was the 90s, it was cool. This is actually the first level we only get 2 remotes in. So, this level, they made this really long and elaborate platforming section that they made you go through each remote, but we can just skip it all, and I already failed it. Nice. Alright, that's what it looks like. Yeah, this is why I should have practiced. That's a pretty precise skip. It's not terribly difficult, it just requires some good timing. And it only saves a few seconds on top of that. Alright, I got it there. Alright, so there's a wall of death that comes around. You're intended to go down those holes in the ground you see, but we can just go to the side, and it allows me to skip a cycle. Oops. Good tail kicking. Alright. It's the first remote. The next remote, and again, the only other remote we get in this level, is just kind of taking the same path, except you get to see the exterior of the ship. And yeah, Sega, make Jet Set Radio Future HD. It might be worth saying I've never played a Jet Set Radio game in my life, so why am I even here? Haha. You may hang me now. So again, just taking the same path, trying not to get caught on the edges of this wall here. That was too far away. Yeah, this level's been a disaster. Oh my god, okay. Now the camera is not helping either. Oh my god, okay. Fine, I'll take it slow. But I'm still gonna attempt this. Because it's not even that hard! What the heck? What the HECC? Okay, fine, I'll do the other strat. I don't even remember the other strat properly, it's been so long since I've done it. It's a babby strat. I know you can manipulate the barrel here. And then there's that cutscene I forgot. Yeah. slow, but yeah, better than failing the other strat over and over again. At least you saw it. Alright. So now you're gonna get to see, very briefly, the exterior of the ship. There's not really much to see, just a minor skip. Camera is not cooperative at this loading zone. There's a few ways you can skip the intended way of getting up here. This is the faster way, if I could get it. Okay, so now PB is impossible. So that's the end of Lake Placid, and I never actually have to fight the boss, because I can just skip into the next hub world. So I'm going to save warp back to Mission Control. You can see Gex just chilling, lounging about on this deserted island. So hopefully I can get this skip. I haven't practiced it either. It's pretty easy as well. Just taking advantage of some faulty collision. There we go. Could have been quicker, but it's good enough. Alright. Good game. So, this is Slappy Valley. And I have a very, very important question to ask everyone watching, and I always look forward to this part whenever I do this in marathons. Who here likes anime? You know, Twitch is doing some big anime marathon to, I guess, with some partnership with Crunchyroll, and I can't even remember where to go. But there's an anime-themed level in this game. It's called When Sushi Goes Bad, and this level's pretty broken as well. It's also the longest level in the run, so it's going to take a while, so out of bounds. And you're going to see some interesting stuff with this level. The textures don't load properly. They're still there for the most part, but they're invisible. So it just kind of looks like I'm walking around in this at some points. I also will need to take damage because this remote and another remote in this level involve a death abuse. Stop gliding, Gex. Okay. So you just gotta destroy these mechs to get access to these tubes, and you gotta destroy the tubes. I don't really know what they were thinking with this level, honestly. It's a pretty basic, like, 90s US-centric definition of anime. It really only amounts to mechs and schoolgirls. There's nothing else really to it. And the schoolgirls have some pretty unfair hitboxes. Alright, I got the cutscene skip. You can't skip any cutscene in this level in the intended way, but you can do something like that. That's the only cutscene you can actually skip, aside from ones that you can just avoid entirely by doing other things, as you'll see coming up. Then I got a bunch of flashing lights. If you're epileptic, look away for now. Also lags the game a lot more. So I'm just going to tail kick between these, get the final tube, and I'm going to death abuse after this cutscene, so I can warp back to the beginning. This isn't the most well-designed level, honestly. The level's designed into 3 sections, one for each remote. And you just kind of go through the section to complete the objective, and then run back to the beginning. So that's the first remote. Alright, so you remember last remote, out of bounds caused the textures to not load properly? Well, we're gonna really see that in this remote. Alright, so get up to this ledge, allows me to skip a section of the remote and a cutscene, and this effect's gonna carry on throughout the rest of the remote. I'm just gonna be walking through the abyss. So the objective is to destroy 5 rogue mechs. I don't know exactly what makes them rogue as opposed to the other mechs, but the game says so. You can't argue with video game logic. was able to squeeze in that during the cutscene. Ledge grabs, because it's kind of hard to tell where you are every now and then. Like there. Alright, so the last two mechs are up here. Alright, it's kind of hard to not ledge grab there, just because it's hard to tell where you are. Or where everything is, rather. Because it's all invisible! Ooh, spooky. That's the objective. This doesn't have a depth of use just because you're already right near the central area, I guess you could call it. Also, that is some wonderful camera work game. There's no consistency to this game's camera. It's astounding. Man, one more remote. It's pretty straightforward. There's no out of bounds to it, sadly. All there is a standard depth abuse. And I keep doing that. My start button on my controller is not very good. But then again, PlayStation pause buttons are known for being kinda shit. Thanks, Victor. Gex 4 when? That's what I'm saying. I think Square Enix is the one who has the rights to the Gex franchise now. Like, come on. You can give us a 15th Final Fantasy, but you can't give us Gex 4. Although, to be fair, I don't know how they would do a Gex 4 nowadays. Yeah, that's pretty much why. Like, no one cares about TV anymore. Like, honestly, who even has cable or satellite nowadays? I don't. It's all internet, baby. Alright. Last level of the level, you know, elevation and whatnot. I'm not clever. That wasn't even me attempting to be clever until I tried to explain it, and I did a piss poor job of it. Dropped my tail kick there. That's fine, I guess. I haven't been taking damage either, so I should really get on that. One last cutscene in this level, and then we'll finally be out. This might be gold pace. Actually, yes it is. Actually, no. Oh, especially not after that. Oh, it was still gold by like 0.2 seconds. Could have been about 1 second, but I had to just drop my momentum there. So that's the longest level rundown. Up next is a fairy tale themed level called Red Riding in the Hood. I guess Gex is now going street. He's all gangsta, he's OG Loke. He'll be a hygiene technician. Already follow me, you better be. Oh, that emote. That emote has zero relevance to this game, but it is still a phenomenal emote. Please spam it all you want. So, like Anime Channel, you're given an outfit that lets you glide, and I missed a candle. You're supposed to just jump over these candles, kind of a weird for an objective, but whatever. Video game logic. These purple leaves have really weird hitboxes. You can just kind of bounce up them as you jump up towards them. You can take advantage of that. Pretty sweet. Although kinda hard to take advantage of them properly. So, 2 more remotes. Each remote just kind of going up further and further on the beanstalk. It's a pretty straightforward level. It's interesting in 100% with all the routing, but this isn't 100%, and I need to shut up about 100%. Oops. Alright. Alright, sorry about that. That mission, destroy the 3 little pigs' houses because fairy tales, haha, memes. Use the death abuse at the end because you gotta destroy them in reverse order because it's much more faster. Yeah, English is stellar. And yes, that was because my grandmother is wonderful towards her, and I get to hear about it. So yeah, just trying to avoid these spiders when I'm jumping or gliding between these platforms. So this last remote, just gonna go to the top of the beanstalk. Ledge grab. Getting that ledge grabless is pretty tough. I will back you up. So that's the end of Slappy Valley. Don't have to fight the boss either, and there is one level, Mythology Network, which we don't visit at all because it just takes too long. That was a... I think I just tail kicked through the loading zone. That was interesting. Alright, so back at mission control. I'm gonna also go... I can't even remember what to do. Good job, me. Okay, so I'm gonna also use that out-of-bounds method I did earlier to get the Rec Room remote in order to get into Funky Town earlier. Well, not earlier, but without fighting the boss that you need to unlock it. So... there's a few other ways you can do it, but this is the most consistent by far. You can actually have that camera push you through the wall. It's really difficult, though. So, in the final hub, Funky Town. You know, it starts with a sewer. That's how you know it's going to be great. Alright, so there's only 2 levels in this hub. And the other one I just passed by, it's not unlocked yet, so I gotta go here first. Nice camera there, by the way. So this level is hell. It's very easy to take damage. And one of the remotes does actually use a death abuse, so sometimes the damage can be good, and by sometimes I mean very rarely. Need to get this fly in order to break this gate here. Or the lock, rather. That's obviously not intended. Gonna keep tail bouncing here so these guys don't hit me and cause me to lose my fly. So, first mission, come up here and free your friend whose name is Cuz. There's actually a TV cancel you can do on this remote using the rat. I don't go for it though. Haven't practiced it enough. It's not the hardest TV cancel though. Oh man, my mic was off. Yeah, it's on now. So that remote has a death abuse, as you can see, and this tail kick right here, tail bounce rather, is really precise. And I got it relatively quickly. Alright, last remote, and this remote is hell because it's the longest and a lot of opportunities to take damage. Yeah, this is one of the hardest levels. It's especially terrible in 100% because of something called fly coin glitch, which is a run-ending glitch that is just kind of haunting over you whenever you do 100%. It's nothing to worry about in this level though, but even besides that, it's still a pretty tough level. Yeah, I didn't want to take damage from that. So, next remote is to burn 5 bundles of funny money. Here, you can just shoot through the gate. Fence, rather. I'm gonna get this fly and take it with me. So I'm going to swallow the fly here. So this is where things get fun. That was really good. Except for that ending. So, one more level. It's a superhero-themed level. It's called Super Zeros, because haha, it's funny. Such a clever pun, am I right? Unintended tail bounce coming up. It's kind of tricky. And it dropped my momentum, and then I missed. Nice. Okay, that was entirely my fault. Yeah, it's not terribly difficult, but I'm bad. Yeah, PlayStation version, it's just... The N64 version is littered with lag. It's horrible, and there's also a higher chance that the game can crash in a couple levels. That level you just saw, My Free Goons, is a good example of a level that can easily crash in N64 version. Also, I don't have the N64 version, and I don't really care to own it, honestly. I'm perfectly fine with this version. It's superior in every way. It's beautiful. 100% on N64 is very interesting, though, because of some of the differences. So, first remote is to kill those free cats, and yeah, I don't have lives. That's scary. That is scary. Ooh. Because I paused there to see if I had the lives to TV cancel, although it was kind of too late to TV cancel at that point, but I don't have lives, so... Scary. So I'm gonna play it really safe. Yeah, the load times are only really a pain for speedrunning, because, like I said, my PS2 is a piece of crap, and FDS does not work properly for this game, so I'm really boned when it comes to load times. But I still play anyway. FDS, by the way, is fast disk speed. It's a feature on the PS2. That it spins PS1 discs at the speed it would a PS2 disc, and it speeds up the load times. This is not a Sega game. This was published by Crystal Dynamics. So last remote, pretty similar, but pretty similar to the Evil Santa remote in Totally Scrooged, although it's a little more precise. Kind of use my camera to aim the shots. So yeah, again, just playing it really safe. And that's 30 remotes. So all that's left is the final boss. Come on, Gex. Alright, so Resraker is pretty challenging, actually. It's got some tough skips. Not really tough, but kinda daunting. Because, you know, you're inches away from death at every moment in this level. So you gotta flick these 3 switches. Again, playing it incredibly safe. So, that's not intended, as far as I know. Yeah, camera does not like to cooperate. And this is the really tough skip of the level. And I got it. Now, I'll still do the skips, but all the intended stuff I do very slowly. could have tail kicked away from that, and I could gain control earlier, but it really fucks with the camera. And again, I am at 0 lives, so... Alright, final boss, Rez himself. So, there's a fast way to defeat Rez I'm gonna attempt. It's kinda tricky. So I missed the first hit already. It's not too bad though. I missed it. It's actually optimal to not do the fast strats for the first hit, because he only does the 3 strikes. Whoops, I wasn't even aware of that. It's been a while since I've really fucked this fight up like that, so... suboptimal res, sadly. Yeah, again. I can't do fast res, huh. Okay, maybe it'll work out now. Back attack is also a great emote, and there, that's what I was looking for. So, time is not going to be on the final hit, but a remote's going to appear over my head, and then a screen will pop up, and time will be when I cancel that screen out. So get ready on time. And... time.
That was a 5150.
Yeah. So ending here, Gex gets laid. There's nothing else to it. And it's you thought Sonic was bad with bestiality? Well, here they're using a real-life adult actress who was also a Playboy model, as I mentioned earlier. So it just makes it all the more creepy. And this isn't the first time Gex has experimented with bestiality. The real ending, though, is the credits song, which you won't get to hear because there is another run coming up. So that is it for me for now. I will be back in about 10 hours for Gex 2 100%. So if you're awake then, definitely check it out. Up next is Tony Hawk's Underground, so watch that as well. Thank you for having me.